Okay, welcome to Fighting for Our Lives. Today, I want to speak about why people relapse. Why do we relapse? Why is it so difficult? I want to start off by saying relapse is normal and is part of the process. There's a small minority of people that once they get into their addiction and they decide to stop, they finally decide to stop, they never really, that's it. They just do it on the first attempt. Okay. I mean, you will know someone who has done that. But I'm talking about proper addiction. You're in a proper addiction of whatever it may be. Just stopping on that first attempt and not relapsing is very, very rare. Okay, so do not feel like there's something wrong with you and you must be pointless and worthless. It's not. It really ain't. And anyone who tells you that or doesn't understand addiction, okay? When I talk about addiction today, we're talking about any addiction: gambling, sex, masturbation, drugs, drink, whatever it may be. You could be going to the gym. And addiction is something that it makes your life unmanageable. It gets in the way of everything in your life. The important things that we need to do in our life starts taking second, third, fourth priority. Okay. In my experience, when I was struggling with my addiction, first off, there's many reasons why people relapse. Okay. And this video, what I don't want to talk about today is how we go about solving things, because again, there's many reasons. But today what I want to go into is why. Why we relapse, to simplify it, is, this is I like this little saying, okay? If nothing changes, it stays the same. And this is simply one of the main reasons why we relapse, okay? So let's take an example. You've got a drink problem, okay? Let's say a social drink problem. So every Thursday or Friday, you're down the pub. You finish work, you're down the pub, and you go down the pub. You get drunk, come home Saturday morning, start drinking again all Saturday, and there's your regular pattern, okay? So you might, for example, go stop drinking on the Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday comes, okay? What do you do on a Friday? Do you go out or do you white knuckle it and decide, right, I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna go out on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So you get through to Monday again, you haven't drank, okay? But then you go out the next Friday and tell yourself, I'm not gonna drink, or I'm only gonna have one. Well, that never, ever happens, does it? And there's your relapse. You try to go back to the place where your addiction started and kid yourself into thinking, this time I'll just do one or two or three. It's never going to happen. Relapse is always going to happen, okay? Let's take a drug addiction. So you might be in a situation where you work all week, you do your thing all week, and every Saturday you go and get some drugs, okay? Whether you go out and get some drugs or you get some drugs and stay in. But that's your normal routine. Let me just say something quickly, okay? I just need to say this. An addiction doesn't necessarily mean that you do something every single day, okay? An addiction is when you do something repetitively and you can't stop it. It could even be, like I say, every weekend I engage in whatever behavior it is, It doesn't have to be every night. Every 2 weeks. I get paid every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks you will do drink, drugs, or engage in whatever your addiction is. It could be once a month. Every single month I engage in a certain behavior and I cannot break that pattern. It's every single month. Okay, that can be an addiction. Do not get this twisted and think it's something that has to be every single day. It just isn't that. It's when you cannot break the cycle of something happening. Okay, so going back to we get drugs on a Saturday, a Friday, we come home. Okay, so you decide to stop. Okay, this week I'm going to stop with all the will in the world. You've spoke to the missus, you've told your friends, you just decided yourself, that's it, I'm going to stop. I can't handle this no more. It's doing my head in. That's it. Okay, you go 1 week. Okay, and again, you're white knuckling it. I call it white knuckling when you're just hanging on for dear life, basically. It's not comfortable. It's just every second is difficult. Every minute, every hour, you're sweating. You're going around a bend. Okay, but you get through that weekend. So, weekend number 2 comes. You're sitting there, and you break. F this. I can't handle this. I'm just going to do it once. You're going to hear this so many times if you're an addict or you are around an addict. One more time. One is too many, and a thousand is never enough. Okay? One is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. So, why couldn't I get past that second weekend? Boredom is your key problem there, okay? Do not expect to be able to stop something that's been going on for 3 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, who knows? But don't just expect just to stop it and you think you're gonna white knuckle it, hold on, and just man it and go through it. Psychologically, that's never gonna happen. We're not even talking about, no, we're talking about obviously that once a week, every weekend, okay? So psychologically, that's hard to do, okay? Boredom is boredom is one of your key triggers, okay? So relapsing, depending obviously on your unique situation, but there's gonna be some key things here, some common denominators in most people's situation. One of them is gonna be boredom, okay? You get your money, your lifestyle, your addiction has took over all your life to the point where that is your life, your addiction. The people who you engage in your addiction with, they're your only friends. They're the only places you go is when you engage in your addiction, to the pub, your friend's house, wherever, okay? These are the things that are gonna keep you relapsing, is when the things that you engage in your addiction with stay the same, okay? We need to change things. We can't expect just to stop the addiction and think that it's gonna be okay, because it just don't work like that, okay? So you've got boredom. Your friends, your circle of friends, are they the people that you use with? Are they the people that you engage in your addiction with? It could be your partner. It could be your workplace. Okay, I know someone from a group from a few years ago. His problem was every day after work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the lads would get together in a pub and drink, okay? And his problem was they're all gonna think I'm an idiot, they're gonna think I'm a wuss, I've got nothing else to do. That was his problem, okay? That was real to him, okay? So his issue was his work. That was his workplace. So there's no avoiding, he can't avoid that situation. Okay, so there's things that he's gonna have to put in place to deal with that. So that's a whole nother video, okay? So then you've got, like I say, you've got a relationship where you both engage in it together. That's going to be your reason for relapse. One of you stops, the other one carries on. Not changing your surroundings. For example, if there's certain places, people, places, and things are the things we need to change. So if there's a certain place you go to, there's a certain pub, club, or any kind of recreational place that you go to, and you know that if you go there, you're going to engage, or there's going to be people engaging, you can't go to them places. You can't go to them places. You know, if you sit at home at a night, at a weekend, whenever it may be, you're going to have to do something else. You're going to have to get out of the house. You have to get out of that. You're going to have to look for other things to replace. We cannot expect to just sit there and beat an addiction. Because psychologically, emotionally, it's not going to happen. We have to be really honest with ourselves in this, okay? Addiction takes lives. Addiction makes people lose houses. Addiction makes people lose their kids. Addiction is no joke. And it doesn't distinguish between race, colour, religion, wealthy, poor. Addiction is addiction. And it will take everything you have. So one of the main things that we have to deal with, like I always tell people, addiction isn't your main problem. Our problems start before the addiction. I truly believe, in most cases, our addictive behaviour is what we do to try and numb, to try and self-medicate, to block out, to forget, to give us strength. So some people need it to go out socially and feel like they can engage. It gives them some Dutch courage. And that's just the reality of it. The problems start way before your addiction starts. So putting down or stopping your behaviour really is the simplest. It's not easy, but it's the easiest part to it. Staying stopped is where the work starts. Stopping, I stopped so many times. Staying stopped was a whole different thing. A whole different thing. And like I say, there's different videos for how we can deal with certain things, the addiction which is unique to us, okay? But the first thing I look at, and I will always encourage people to look at, is what was going on before the addiction started. Trauma, loss, an injury. There's something that's happened somewhere along the line that started the addiction. So don't think you can just stop the addiction and it's going to be okay, because it's not. It was easy for me to stop what I was doing, but then I was left with what was in here originally. For me, there was a lot of stuff from my childhood that I just tried to bury. And the thing is as well, even though there was things from my childhood, again, things happen in life. Trauma happens in life as we go along. These are all things we have to face and understand and get to the bottom of. And we need to heal. Obviously, this just doesn't happen like that. But this is why people relapse. Because they don't make the important changes, the significant changes that are needed to be successful in beating your addiction. I've got this thing, like people talk about rock bottom. Oh, well, you need to hit your rock bottom. No, you really don't. You really don't need to hit rock bottom. Because what is rock bottom? To me, rock bottom is death. We don't need to go to death to get it. We don't need to go to prison. Because look how many people go to prison and then come out and repeat their behavior. We don't need to lose a limb. We don't need to lose our partners. We don't need to lose our house. We don't need to lose our kids, because look how many people that happens to, and it doesn't stop the addiction. Addiction is way more powerful than you will ever believe, to the point it will take and strip everything from your life. Gladly and more. It will take the people around you, it will take anything from them as well. So relapse is normal. Relapse is part of beating your addiction. But when you choose to stop, make sure that when you stop, this is not just off the whim, I'm going to stop. You ain't stopping nothing. When you decide to stop, you need to put many things in place to make this successful. And remember, there's a lot of people who stop and stay stopped for a substantial amount of time and relapse and die. And that's the problem with relapsing. So as much as I can sit here and say, yeah, relapse is, it's all part of it. It's not the end of the world. Bottom line is, in some instances, for some people it was. But we can't take addiction lightly. Our mental health at the same time, I'll always talk about this. It's not just the addiction, our mental health is severely affected. So we can't just stop the addiction and think that we're just well then. It doesn't work like that. So that means we have to be kind, we have to be rational, we have to have a plan in place, we have to have people around us we need support. There's many things we need in place for when we stop or try and stop our addictive behavior to make it more successful. And if you do relapse, it's okay, but learn by it. Learn by why you relapse. And then you don't have to be one of the statistics, the overdoses. He did it one more time. She just went to the place she used to go before and thought she could do it and be strong enough. It takes one bad choice to be around the wrong person at the wrong time, in the wrong state of mind, and that could be the end. Or the start of a worse addiction, okay? So don't beat yourself up about not being able to just do it just like that, because it's not the way it normally goes, okay? Keep fighting, never stop fighting, but learn, think, and treat addiction with the utmost respect, because it takes lives. And we need to be fighting to save lives. Peace.